Welcome to the Horror Unmasked podcast,
where we unmask the monsters
and explore the lore.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Lily, and today we will be dissecting
Carrie.
Let's Go to Prom.
In 1979, a teenage girl named Carrie White goes to high school in the town of Chamberlain, Maine. After a sweaty day in gym class,
Apparently.
Carrie is the last one to hit the showers in the locker room. Suddenly, also in the most uncomfortably visually intimate scene.
Yeah.
Just like...
It's just her taking a bath.
And just like the hands on the legs.
The hands on the legs. And then
before
that, right before they pan to her, it's like the entire locker room is just filled with naked girls jumping around.
Yeah. It's very like uncomfortably
naked teenage
sexy.
Girls, by the way. They're in high school.
It's supposed to be like uncomfortable sexy. Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Yeah.
Suddenly, blood starts to gush down her legs, and she believes she's dying.
Yep.
Carrie freaks out and tries to get help from her classmates, which they were so wrong for this.
They were wrong, but also if some girl came at me with her blood, I don't like her period blood.
I know, but also
I wouldn't react in that way, the way that they reacted, but I don't.
But like, you know that they all know what kind of life she lives. So obviously,
probably, yeah.
There's no way in hell that they should react the way that they did.
So if you don't know what we're talking about.
Instead of helping her, however, the girls start throwing pads and tampons at Carrie.
Yep.
When the gym teacher realizes what is going on, she steps in to stop it. Carrie's sent home, and when her mother, Margaret, returns, she gets a call from the school telling her what happened to Carrie. When Carrie comes downstairs, her mother shoves her in a closet and tells her to pray away her sins, because that's how that works.
She basically was like, oh, first your period comes and then you go with the boys, and that, or is it like...
Yeah, it's something like
something
that,
with, something with boys that caused her period, and that's how she's a sinner.
I'm like, dude, she's a fucking woman who... It's normal.
Right.
All girls get their periods.
Whether you have sex with a man or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust me, most 12 to 13-year-olds, if there's sex with men, that's a way worse situation than what you're thinking. So,
crazy.
Being someone who at 13 got her period.
I got mine at 10. I was 10.
I was 13.
Oh my goodness. Are we really going to talk about
I was 13 and I was in school. That shit.
Yeah, I was in school too.
And why is it that schools, can y'all fucking at least attempt to try to have like normal sized pads if you're going to have pads? Because they have like industrial. Like it's a thick ass motherfucking pad. At least the one that I remember getting. Because I had to tell, like, I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was like a math or English teacher or whoever she was. I was like, I got to go to the nurse's office because my period started. I remember sitting in the stall and seeing the blood, a little bit of blood in my underwear and being like, silent scream of no, because I knew what it meant. And I was like, fuck.
Got you. For me, I was 10. I was in 5th grade. And when mine happened at school as well.
Yeah.
So when I went to the bathroom to look, I couldn't really tell what it was because it wasn't fresh blood.
Yeah.
Like, this is so TMI, but like,
hey,
I really
normal things that the world should know about.
Yeah. So I didn't really know if that's what it was or not.
Yeah.
But then like the next day it came heavier, but it was just very startling. I was like, what is this brown stuff?
Yeah.
It had like dried a little bit because I guess I didn't feel it and I hadn't gone to the bathroom for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's the like, fuck, I don't want to go through with.
And my periods were so bad, and that's why I had acne the worst out of everyone in elementary school and then middle school, and it was painful. And now I got the lollipop stick in my arm.
Same. But the truth of the matter is even for me, it was like so irregular.
Same.
It would always be roughly 3 days, I think. I think occasionally, which is why I ended up getting the lollipop stick in my arm, was because of my gallbladder, because we originally thought the pains I was having was from my period and not my gallbladder. Shocker, my gallbladder fucked up, so I had to get it removed. But I was so irregular with my periods, it was practically impossible to keep track of it.
Mine used to be that way, and then I went on birth control, and then that's when it started getting regular, but they were still so painful. I was just like, no, I need an Explanon.
I never encountered pain. I never had pain.
And they were so heavy too.
But for me, it was, you could tell it was coming on because I was more moody the weeks before.
Yeah, my mom could always pinpoint this. She was always like, there were too many times when we would have a conversation, something would happen, and I would get like really snippy, and she would be like, you're about to have your period. I just know it. Like, you're PMSing, aren't you? And I'd be like, no. And I get so defensive, and literally like the day or the next day I would literally get my period. And I'd be like, ugh, I can't believe she was right.
Yeah.
But yeah, she called it every time.
Yeah. But yeah.
Periods are not fun, but they are natural. So if you think we're gross for talking about it,
there's no sin.
No sin. It's not because you're messing around with boys.
No.
It's a natural human body experience for women.
And it's not because of an apple either. Because that's just fucking stupid.
I think I've said this before. But that whole Adam and Eve, she bit the apple, but men have Adam's apples.
Yeah. Well, weird.
A little weird.
What he has caught in his throat.
Right.
Weird. It's almost like
it's almost like he ate it and blamed it on her.
Yeah, almost.
Whoa.
Weird. Because why would they be called Adam's apples if he didn't eat the apple?
It's just another way to persecute women. What?
I know, right? Anyway.
Because she a sinner. No. Anyway, let's keep going. The next day, the gym teacher gathers all of the girls from the locker room incident and tells them that they have to come to her detention for 5 days straight or else they don't get to go to prom.
Which is rightfully so.
Yeah. And it's not even that bad. It's what she say.
It's 5 days. It's literally the standard days you'd be going to school.
And I'm telling and it was only 45 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah.
Something like that.
AKA the equivalent of what your class time would be.
Right. So it's just an extra gym period. Get over it.
Like, chill the fuck out. Like, you should know that what you did was wrong, therefore.
Yeah. And you'll look snatched for prom. Yeah. So go.
Stop complaining.
Stop complaining.
It's 5 fucking days. Chill out.
For the shit that they pulled.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's a way better than
You're
what
getting
could
a
have
treat.
happened.
You're getting a literal treat. A workout before prom. Come on. Anyway, one of the girls, Chris, fuck that bitch, freaks out and refuses to stay all 5 days. On the first day. On the
first fucking day.
She gets so angry that she can't go to prom because obviously...
Because she's stupid.
She didn't go to all days. So angry that she can't go to prom, she asks her boyfriend Billy to help get revenge. On the other hand, feeling guilty for what happened, one of the other girls, Sue, asks her boyfriend Tommy to take Carrie to prom instead, as a nice gesture.
I will say, the difference, so there is, I will talk probably about it while we're in there in the regular notes and stuff like that, but there is a more modern version of this movie. But in this movie, it feels so ingenuine. I don't know why it is. In this movie, it does not, I still feel like she's up to shit. Like, it does not feel genuine. And the modern one, you can see that there's like I feel really bad about this. Like, can you please do this?
I think it's because the way they have it, like, set up and, like, the cutscenes, it seems as though Chris and Sue had, like, had a conversation together.
And not even just that. It's even between Sue and Tommy and Carrie. It just doesn't feel, it feels ingenuine And it's that definite. It feels like there's a scheme.
I've seen the more recent one, but I would really like to go back and rewatch it.
I actually really like the more recent one because there's a couple moments in it that I think that this one could have used that would have been, or at least acting directions, because I feel like if they really wanted to make these characters feel sincere,
Yeah.
I think their acting direction was a little off.
Yeah. So, at this point, throughout the movie, Carrie has shown subtle signs of telekinesis. Whoa. And while trying to research her abilities, Tommy asks her to the prom. Startled, Carrie runs away and goes to tell the gym teacher about it, who actually encourages her to go have fun.
Yep.
But then she questions Sue and Tommy, and she's like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah, because she's constantly bullied by everybody.
Yeah.
Like, why would she
So
not?
it's so out of the blue.
Why would she not? Of course she doesn't trust you.
Especially with what you literally just pulled. Okay, anyway.
Spoiler warning. Skip ahead. Back at her house, Tommy shows up to ask Carrie to go to the prom again, which she reluctantly agrees. Carrie tells her mom about her date, who then tries to get her to back out, but she refuses.
As she should.
Carrie reveals her powers to her mother, saying that things are going to be different now. The night of the prom, Tommy picks Carrie up and they head to the dance together. When they arrive, Carrie seems to be having a good time as Tommy treats her like a normal teenage girl and even gives her a kiss.
So sweet.
Yeah. In this scene, it feels more genuine.
Yes.
In this scene, it does feel like
she was
he's
like,
trying to treat her like a real person.
Treat her like she's your actual date.
Yeah.
Like, just go have fun.
And it definitely feels
and he
kind of
seems like he's into it. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they had previous conversations that she likes his writing.
Yeah.
So there's something,
something
to bond
already there.
about. Yeah.
Honestly, I ship the throuple.
I would ship the throuple.
I ship the throuple.
I would ship the throuple. Meanwhile, Chris and Billy.
Fuck ass. Fuck twats.
Fuck ass is what she was about to say, but changed it. But I like fuck ass better.
I stumbled over my words just because of how much hatred I have for these two people.
Yeah.
It's crazy that Billy is John Travolta.
I know. Oh my god. And it's actually his first starring film. Role.
Yeah. What I really wanted to say was fucking assholes, but it just came out as fuck ass.
You know?
I just had to get it out, you know?
Yeah. It had to come out. Meanwhile, Chris and Billy have set up a trap for Carrie, rigging the prom king and queen votes so that Carrie and Tommy win.
Sounds like it's nice.
Yeah, it sounds nice until the pair are called to the stage when Sue arrives to see how Carrie is doing as she discovers the trap. Sue tries to stop Chris, but the gym teacher finds Sue and kicks her out. Carrie and Tommy stand on stage and bask in their win until Chris pulls on a rope connected to a bucket, which then spills gallons of pig blood. Yeah. That's what it seems like. All over Carrie. Yeah. The crowd laughs as Tommy is hit in the head with the bucket, knocking him out. Does it kill him? It just looks like it knocked him out. I don't think it kills him, but I think it knocks him out. Yeah, because there's no way that would kill him. Yeah. Anyway. Carrie loses her mind as she causes the lights to go crazy and begins to spray people with the fire hose inside the gym. Like, she blocks those fucking doors. Yeah. It is... all with telekinesis, by the way. She's just standing there with, like, an angry expression on. Yeah, she's just standing on the stage covered in blood, just, like, doing all this with her brain. Yeah. People try to run, but are either electrocuted or crushed to death by Carrie's mind powers. After mass death and destruction, Carrie walks home. Chris and Billy have survived and try to run Carrie over in the street, but she swerves the car and causes it to explode with the couple inside. Deserve. When Carrie makes it home, Margaret is waiting for her to kill her,
since she believes Carrie has been possessed by Satan.
Of course.
Because if you have mind powers, of course it's Satan.
Yep.
Carrie ends up killing her mother instead and burns her house to the ground.
And literally the house gets consumed into the ground.
Kind of like...
Poltergeist.
yes.
But not through a portal.
No. And then Sue's alive and she has so much PTSD.
So much PTSD. Well, the end.
Great ending.
Yeah. So this movie was released November 3rd, 1976.
Mm-hmm.
The director is Brian De Palma. Story by Stephen King.
As it should be.
Distributed by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and United Artists. I have their box office, which was $33.8 million.
Mm-hmm. So their budget was $1.8 million.
So not fantastic, but also it's not like a heavy special effects thing.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
No, it's not. The only thing that really has all that is that last scene when
in
she's
the prom,
killing everyone.
Because everything else, for the most part, is all
pretty practical.
just normal, people communicate. Like, other than very minor,
and
the mirror cracking and some other stuff. But
and the only locations were the school and her house.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the pig farm.
Well, yeah, and then you have Sue's moment in her home for a hot sec, but it's also just the biggest scenes that have the most chaos and the most special effects based kind of stuff are the prom scene and then her house being destroyed are pretty much the most, because it's not.
The car.
Oh yeah, the car, but it's that whole sequence.
So, this movie only has a runtime of 1 hour and 38 minutes. So pretty short.
Yeah.
And then the Rotten Tomato score is crazy.
What?
Is 93%.
Wow.
It's so good.
I mean, it's a good movie. It's not a bad movie. It's a very good movie.
Yeah. Especially for the time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I just know people were gaga over it.
Yeah.
So the kill count in the movie, it's 73 people.
Yeah.
In the movie.
Yeah.
And that is just that's even more than all of the Scream movies combined.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. But then in the book,
yeah, I would think that the book is way higher.
It's 440 people.
Holy
it's
shit.
So
well, I wasn't
many.
expecting 400.
Yeah, 440 people died in the disaster. Yeah. Yep.
Stephen King, what the fuck?
Right. I need to read this immediately.
You downsized so hard.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to see if that's on Hoopla.
Oh yeah.
It's my book reading and audiobook app.
Yeah.
It's connected by the library system, which is pretty nice. Oh.
Okay. So for our cast list.
Yes.
We've got Sissy Spacek as Carrie White, Piper Laurie as Margaret White, Amy Irving as Sue Snell. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss character.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
I feel like it is. William Catt as Tommy Ross, John Travolta as Billy Nolan, Nancy Allen as Chris Hargensen, and then Priscilla Pointer as the gym teacher or Mrs. Eleanor.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Do you want to go or to me go?
You can go.
Alrighty. I will.
Ooh, one thing I will add.
Yeah.
Is that, so you got Brian De Palma, right? So the actor that plays Chris, so the actress, she was actually married to him for 4 years and starred in many of his movies.
Huh.
Yeah. So, but a year after.
Oh, actually, well, because you're saying that the director's wife
played Chris.
Yeah.
Although they were only married for 4 years.
Yeah.
And the year after that this movie came out, they got a divorce.
Weirdly enough, that matches up with what I'm about to tell you.
Beautiful.
So, while Carrie Fisher, Glenn Close,
Carrie Fisher? Okay.
Carrie Fisher, Glenn Close,
you mean
Linda Blair, and others auditioned for the title role in Carrie, director Brian De Palma was set on casting Amy Irving in the role of Carrie. Yes.
The one who played Sue?
Mm-hmm.
He wanted her
to be Carrie. But when the famed production designer Jack Fisk suggested his wife Sissy Spacek audition, everything changed.
Okay.
So Spacek wore a sailor dress made for her as a child and smeared Vaseline in her hair prior to the audition, which she hit out of the park.
Nice.
When De Palma gave Spacek the role, he cast Amy Irving as Sue Snell instead.
Which is so very Carrie coded.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, because instead of giving Amy Irving the role, it was Sissy Spacek, just like instead of taking Sue to prom, it was Carrie.
Yeah. And I mean, and because here's the thing. However, Nancy Allen was already promised the role of Sue Snell.
Oh.
So De Palma cast her as Chris instead.
Which is funny because she also got snubbed.
So literally they just knocked down.
Yeah.
So the character...
But it really goes for the movie and like their roles. So exactly. It's really funny.
It feels right for the characters that they're playing.
Yeah.
And...
Well, I hope there was no like ill will towards anyone.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Because they all, I think each of them did great in their roles. Oh yeah,
like,
they did very well. Yeah, it felt like they fit their characters very well.
I can't imagine the girl playing Chris to like be sweet and nice, actually, like because she was really good at being a bitch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all hate Dolores Umbridge for a reason. But the actress is fucking amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. But to prepare for her role as Carrie, Sissy Spacek deliberately isolated herself from the rest of the cast members while on set.
Wow.
She would hole up in her trailer, which she adorned with a slew of religious regalia, including Gustave Doré's illustrated Bible.
Whoa.
Spacek would also examine the body language of those stoned to death for their sins.
What the fuck?
Following her performance, Spacek was nominated for Best Leading Actress at the 1977 Academy Awards.
Good. Yeah.
And I'm like, she did a great job.
She did, especially all that preparation.
Oh yeah. That's definitely in the method acting side of all of that.
For sure.
And Piper Laurie also scored an Oscar nod for her performance as Margaret White, Carrie's abusive and religious fanatic mother. The role marked the first time Laurie acted in a film since The Hustler in 1961.
Wow.
So upon landing the part, Laurie genuinely thought her character was so histrionic and over the top that the movie had to be a dark comedy. De Palma had to constantly remind her on set that they were making a horror movie instead. And still, Laurie would often erupt with laughter during takes as she found the character so ridiculous.
I mean, she is very ridiculous.
She thought it was a dark comedy because she's like, this character's fucking wild.
Yeah.
But it was a horror movie.
There's no person in reality that's actually like this to their like that's probably what she was going through her brain.
Oh yeah, where in reality, there are people who are exactly like this, and they're the ones that end up on Forensic Files or other such.
Yep. So that's a privilege to never have to never have had to encounter.
Oh yeah,
that kind of situation.
And the character of Norma, PJ Solis, and Carrie dies via a fire hose. So while filming the scene, Solis became severely injured when there was intense water pressure from the hose, popped her eardrums. So when Norma falls to the floor, writhing in pain, the reaction is 100% authentic.
Yep.
De Palma opted to keep the shot in the film, even though she was so badly hurt that she could not hear out of one ear for the following 6 months
6 months
before the eardrum eventually mended.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She better have gotten reparations for that.
God willing, you know? And then...
They better have paid for all of her medical bills.
Hell yeah. So, Brian De Palma has forged a reputation as a director who often pays homage to his cinematic idol, Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes.
In Carrie, De Palma makes at least 3 connections to Hitchcock's iconic horror movie, Psycho.
Which I still have never seen.
I've seen Psycho.
I know it's so bad that I haven't. I know it's literally one of the classics.
Because I've seen so many things, but Netflix had Psycho on it for a while.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, hell yeah. It's on here. It's one of the ones that I know I should watch because it is such a classic.
Yeah.
So yes, I have seen Psycho.
Or there's me who I... Again, don't come for me.
Don't worry. We'll fix that.
It'll happen. Just give me time, guys. I'm busy. I'm a busy girl.
There's so much to watch, too. So the high school in the film is named Bates High after Norman Bates in Psycho.
Yes. Yeah.
So too is the Bates packing meat plant seen later in the film.
Okay. We're all the piggies.
Yeah. The musical composer for Psycho, Bernard Herrmann, scored 2 of De Palma's prior movies, Sisters and Obsession. And he would have scored Carrie as well, but passed away in 1975. So, Pino Donaggio filled the role, composing a 4-note string arrangement that is nearly identical to an overage in Herman's Psycho score.
Okay.
So, he was still able to have a musical composition in the film.
Inside the film, yeah.
That you know, portrayed that Psycho.
That's
vibe.
really sweet, though.
And yeah, Psycho is a weird movie. It's a weird movie. It's a good movie.
I believe it. It's Alfred Hitchcock.
But it's weird. Obviously, one of the most memorable shots in the film occurs during the prom scene, in which Carrie's vertiginous mental state is depicted with a piece of dizzying camera work.
Yeah.
So the shot was achieved by setting the 2 characters, Spacek and William Catt, on a platform that rotated in one direction while the camera tracked in the opposite direction. So the shot was achieved with the help of cinematographer Mario Tosi, who replaced original DP Isidore Mankowski early in production over creative differences with De Palma. So, yeah. It's basically they're going one way, the camera's going the other way. Because that's a...
Yeah.
That is a nauseating moment.
Extremely.
And then also, that iconic prom scene took 2 weeks and roughly 35 takes to create.
Okay.
So corn syrup was used for the gallons of pig's blood that the bully teens dumped on Carrie during the climax of the movie. To remain in character and in the character's tormented headspace, Spacek returned to her trailer after 3 full days of filming and would sleep in her gore-sodden wardrobe.
Oh my God.
This measure was also taken to maintain visual continuity in the film, as the fake blood would often dry under the hot filming lights and stick to Spacek's body. Also, how are you sleeping? Sticky? Because it's corn syrup blood. So it's sticky and dry on your body and you're sleeping in it. And it's that fucking dress. It's that full on.
No.
And it's in your hair.
No.
How?
You
How
would pour
you
it on
sleep in
me
that?
and immediately I would be like, shower.
Let's wash it off.
Shower.
Let's wash it off.
Let's hit the showers again. Let's go. Come on.
To think that she slept in that so that the continuity would stay. Wild. And to think that...
Although there isn't a whole lot of continuity with it, I'm not going to lie.
No. But...
Because she just gets more blood on her as the time goes on.
Yeah. I mean, because also you have to think, now we have... In horror movies now, we have people who actively are the specialists in keeping the continuity when there are bloods and cuts because of how out of order
so many things
happen.
are. Yeah.
So it's a whole other world now that we actually do have a whole side of it that keeps track of that.
Which is nice because there have been so many times where I'm like, that cut was on the other side of his face. Like, but every time I see that, I'm like, how did that actor not remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's on you. Yeah. And I guess after like months of maybe filming.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it the same every day, then I don't know.
Yeah. So Sissy Spacek was so dedicated to the authenticity of her performance that she refused to use a stunt double during the graveyard final. So, in which only her hand appears bursting out of the soil.
Yeah.
The decision came as a shock to De Palma, who kept insisting on the use of a body double. When Spacek declined, De Palma handed responsibilities to her husband, production designer Jack Fisk. In the end, Spacek was placed inside a box at the bottom of a hole in the ground.
No.
Where she waited for the camera to be set up to film the scene. That is the fear of being buried alive.
Yep.
Immediately. And the thing is, you have to think, she has to be standing up for that. So she's upright. You have to think, because they're not going to have her lay down for that. They're going to have her, the least amount of space to take up in the ground.
Right.
Is going to be her standing and then dirt over.
Honestly, I'd prefer that than laying down, though. So
I don't like it. Because she also had to wait for the cameras and everything to be set up.
I don't know if I could do that. I think I would need somebody like talking to me the whole time.
Yeah, I'd have to have like an earpiece in.
I could do it, but I would need somebody like speaking to me.
Yeah.
And like having, or like playing music or something.
Yeah, there'd have to be something that would mentally keep me
stimulated and away from the idea that I'm in a box in the ground.
Yeah, and I could understand them having a headpiece that she'd be able to listen to people like the set communicating, because they'd also have to be able to communicate with her like when to pop her hand out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's no way in hell I would be buried at all with intent unless otherwise I had something.
As an actor, I'd do it.
I mean, I would do it provided I had something.
Yeah, but I'm sure they would take care of you. Like, that's obviously a very scary situation.
That's a legality issue fucking waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And then, again, in the penultimate scene in Carrie, De Palma opted to create an eerie visual effect by filming a shot in reverse.
Oh.
So the shot takes place as Sue Snell places flowers on Carrie's grave.
Right.
To create a surreal effect, the shot was filmed backwards. When it came to printing the image, the shot was reversed and run in slow motion to make it appear slightly off-kilter. However, viewers can spot the optical illusion when a car in the background drives down the street backwards.
Oh, that's funny.
Which is kind of interesting because most of the time, I would have never...
I didn't notice that.
Have even thought that was done backwards. I mean, it kind of makes me think back to The Conjuring 2 when the Crooked Man, that scene was done backwards. And done with like, you know, all of the that slow-mo sensation. So, you know, apparently doing shit backwards is a good idea. So our scene of the White family abode crinkling into the ground and everything. Rather than engulfing the White House in flames, to which a miniature model was used, the original ending of Carrie was meant to be much different. In the original script, a hail of rocks and boulders rained down on the White's house and crushed the structure to rubble. The sequence was filmed, but the effect of the rocks did not result in De Palma's liking. So the ending was changed. However, the rocks can still be seen in the final shot of the film.
Yeah.
Aligning the White House in the place of the charred ashes.
Yeah.
The original ending was restored in 2013 remake. So, yeah. Which makes sense because that's how the house is destroyed in that one. So
I haven't seen it in a very long time, so I don't remember.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was all really fascinating. And I mean, again, we mentioned the fact that this was our boy John Travolta's actually starring role. This was his breakout role.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's all my notes.
Because if you think Grease was made in the 50s, it was not.
It was not.
It was not. He's still kicking.
Yep.
As he should.
But yeah, that was all my notes.
Yeah. People love Carrie so much that they made a musical. It is a literal musical.
I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
Mm-hmm. Some of the music's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so now I'm gonna talk about some of the lore. Where did Carrie come from? How did Stephen King, with his brilliant mind, come up with this?
It, yeah.
So, back while his brother Dave was going to college, he also worked summers as a janitor at Brunswick High. And for one of the summers, for one part of it, he also was working there too. And so he had to...
Wait, are you telling me Stephen King was a janitor?
He was a janitor. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the idea of just watching
because
Stephen
I could
King
see it.
Around, like
I could picture it. I could literally see it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like seeing him as the shop owner in it. Yeah.
So... while he was working as a janitor, he was supposed to scrub some rust stains off of the walls in the girl shower. So while he was in the shower, he noticed that, unlike in the boys' locker room, they had these U-rings with pink plastic curtains attached to give them privacy. So a little while later, the memory came back to him while he was working in the laundry. And then he started seeing the opening scene of the story.
Yeah.
Where there were girls showering in a locker room, but there were no U-rings or plastic privacy curtains. And then one girl starts to have her period, and she doesn't know what it is, and the other girls are grossed out, and they start pelting her with sanitary napkins. So it just kind of came to him. Like, he was working at the laundry, and this just popped into his brain.
Like always.
Okay, dude.
Fucking directors are like, I had a night terror and therefore came the script.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Can you not? Can you not? Because look, spread some of that my way.
Right.
Please and thank you. Mm-hmm. I want to be hit with inspiration in the middle of fucking working and being like, I now have an entire book or an entire movie right here.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe one day it'll happen.
God, it will. Please.
You never know. But you also have to write it down immediately.
I know, right?
So going further with that, he had read in an article in Life magazine years before this, talking about some reported poltergeist activity that might actually be a telekinetic phenomena.
Huh.
So,
kind of like what we talked about in Poltergeist.
Yeah, there was some evidence to suggest that some people might have had those powers. And the article said that especially girls in early adolescence, right around the time of their first period. Which again goes with
the
what
poltergeist
we were talking about
concept.
And the poltergeist, yeah. So he put these two unrelated ideas, adolescent cruelty and telekinesis, and came up with Carrie. But before he had completed 2 pages, he started thinking more about his past. Apparently, these are some ghosts from his past. 2 girls who he used, who eventually became Carrie, that he used to create. So he called them Tina White and Sandra Irving. Okay. So Tina went to elementary school with him, and apparently she had worn the same clothes to school every day. So she was very picked on. Like, people didn't... Obviously, you wear the same clothes to school every day. People were gonna... be like, oh, you're gross, you're dirty, do you not have money, blah, blah, blah.
And then they enter the real world and realize that there's uniforms that you wear every single day. And I'm like, well, regardless of whether you've cleaned it or not, you still are wearing the same thing every fucking day.
So that was Tina. And then there was Sandra, who lived about 1.5 miles from the house where he grew up. So Sandra's mom hired him to help move some furniture for him one day. Yeah. And he was hit by a crucifix hanging in the living room.
Yeah.
That was over the couch. And so He basically said if such a gigantic icon had fallen when the two of them were watching TV, the person it fell on would almost certainly have been killed.
Oh, shit.
Like, I guess it was that large.
Wow.
Why
would you have that large of a cross in your house?
They're really dedicated, I guess.
I just swear.
It sounds so fucked up, though, because you literally are, like, the cross is a symbol of how he died. You're
literally worshiping his death.
On your neck in your home.
Like, why is it not like him walking across water or him parting the sea?
Right, it's how he died.
Something cool.
You're wearing a torture device on your neck.
You're literally wearing his murder
device, yeah.
Anyway.
That's neither here nor there. So he, after that, he created his, like, a couple pages of his first draft, but he was so disgusted by them, he crumpled them up and threw them away. Right. So the next night, when he came home from work, his wife, Tabby, had the pages.
Yeah.
And basically said she saw them in, while emptying the trash.
Yeah.
And she, like, smoothed the paper out and sat down to read them, and she, like, told him to keep going, and she wanted to know the rest of the story.
Oh.
So if it weren't for that,
he would have not.
He wouldn't have written the rest of it.
And we wouldn't have gotten the Carrie we have today.
Yeah. So, very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that this girl who was so outcast from her classmates just because she wore the same thing to school every day.
Yeah.
And then this girl that he also lived close to that just, his mom has such a gigantic cross.
Yeah.
Where if it fell on them,
like,
they would have been killed.
Unnecessary amount of religious icon.
But I think it's crazy how he said he was struck by the crucifix hanging in the living room, but if it had fallen on
I think he might have been standing.
Killed them. Yeah, probably.
Because you were saying that he was helping moving furniture, so maybe he was moving the couch, and the way that it fell, it might have hit him, but it might have hit him in the couch kind of situation while he was standing.
Yeah.
But
Probably.
if he was seated on the couch and it fell, it would have been death.
So, cool stuff. So, Mr. King was a janitor. That's all I got from that story. He's a janitor.
Yeah. He's got like fun grandpa vibes that, like, he's always got the good ass stories, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Always the good ass, like, fun stories. Like, you go to him and he's the one that you get to talk about spooky weird shit that mom's like, what are you guys talking about?
And you're like, nothing.
So what was that murder?
And they're like bullshit.
Yeah. And it's like, that's the.
And they're like, Dad, stop telling them about.
Yeah.
This or that.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
You're going to give him nightmares.
I'm
like, well,
All right, so now I
had a weird nightmare last night.
What?
I don't even know if it was a nightmare. I don't even know if I can constitute them nightmares anymore.
What do you mean?
Because it was weird and it was upsetting, and it was also, but, like, I wasn't scared, but also it was, like,
still upsetting.
I still, like, woke up from it.
Okay. What happened?
I don't know. I think the moment that I woke up, this is so fucking weird. These are the last things I remember happening in the dream.
Spit it out.
I think I was sitting on a bed in my old room at the house.
Oh, wow. Okay. Like the original one where you had all the animal stuff?
No. When I moved into the bigger room.
Okay.
But, like, the bed was in a weird spot and there was weird furniture and stuff everywhere. And it was like the bed was in the middle and then the TV was here. And clearly I had other people over and some crazy shit was clearly going down. Like, people were dying.
Whoa.
But they were my friends.
Okay.
And I was holding or grasping this doll in front of, like, my stomach chest.
I already don't like it.
And it had a knife in its hand.
Oh.
But it was tiny.
So was this some voodoo shit?
No, because it was, like, living, but it wasn't, like, it was so weird because it wasn't, like, doll on the level that, like, freaks me out. It was, like, just, like, it was weird.
Maybe we've been watching too many horror movies.
I haven't. I literally, the last thing I watched.
I say that because we have a horror movie podcast.
I literally watched Bridgerton, watched my dude clean some carpets, and then fell asleep.
So those are good things to fall asleep to.
So I had nothing. There was no reason.
Wow.
Not a single reason why my brain should have pulled that shit out.
Well, it's your subconscious.
Here's the thing. The little thing, I don't know if I was trying to restrain it, but I wasn't doing a good job. Or I didn't think it was going to kill me, or I thought it was going to kill me. I can't remember. All I remember is that it stabs me, like sinks the knife into my into like my chest, and just blood starts pouring, and then it does it a second time. And then I don't know what happens.
I would have woken up before
it
it stabbed me the first time.
And I'm like, but it also felt very fake because it was very it was very like a flow, like a full flow. It was weird.
Okay.
But it was like the moment when I woke up was I think I knew that I had another friend that was there, and something horrific was going on.
Oh.
And because they were screaming, and I think their head was getting ripped off.
Oh my God.
But like down the edge, they would be like down the edge of the bed, so I couldn't see it. All I could hear was hear them screaming and like the ripping sounds. And that's when I started covering my ears in panic, and then I woke up. And then I started to fall back asleep.
No.
And went right back into the dream.
No.
Yeah, because that's my curse. Is that, well, curse and blessing is I can re-enter my dreams.
No.
But this time, instead of being on the bed, I was where that person died after the fact. And there was this weird string. And I remember like pulling and then cutting. And then I heard this weird like whimper sound. And then like a black wolf creature thing appeared in my face, like all pissed and shit. And I was like, well, I didn't know you were there. I didn't know that was part of you. You're a shadow thing. Mm-hmm. What am I supposed to do? Next time, make yourself more available. And then he slunk back under the bed, and I don't know what the fuck happened after that point. And I woke up. You know?
That sounds so terrifying. No, thank you.
There were way worse things that were happening before that point. I have some fascinating dreams, guys.
This would have been great for the Nightmare on Elm Street episode.
I have one dream that was a full production. It was an HHN house in and of itself with wild shit going on. And I still remember a decent portion of it too, which is wild. Anyway.
Make it into a real house.
I mean, I think it would be a little impossible because it requires such a vast amount of space. And the water effects and falling from dangerous heights to some degree, and then weird enclosed spaces and big spaces, and it's wild. That one was a wild dream.
You have somebody falling off of a height, you could just redo that, like put a hole in the thing and then have them fall, and then on a mattress, and just have like a line of people just constantly going through. You know what I mean?
I'd have to think about it. This would be a fascinating one to think about, because I think Filch showed up in my dream.
Oh, okay.
For some weird reason.
Harry Potter house? Interesting.
Because it wasn't a Harry Potter house. I don't even know what it was. But it was like, we were trying to like make some shadow thing. And apparently it went way past the time when we were supposed to be there rehearsing. And then we tried to run from him, and we were running through the house.
Okay.
It was weird.
Okay.
There's a lot of weird shit. My brain makes a lot of weird shit. Anyway.
Speaking of brain doing weird shit.
Yeah.
Telekinesis.
Yes.
Defined as the communication of impressions of any kind from one mind to another, independently of the recognized channels of sense.
Yes.
Yes. So, historical, religious, mythological, and fictional characters have been moving things with their mind for millennia.
Yes.
One of the most famous of them all is Jesus.
Yeah.
Is literally Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, you know, what else was he doing if he wasn't using telekinesis to turn water to wine? Healed the sick.
Exactly.
Changed some food into a lot of food. You know what I mean? Part water.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all telekinesis.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Also, bringing back Lazarus from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
All telekinesis. I don't know. So the fact that Carrie White, her mom, was all, this is from Satan. okay, you worship Jesus and
Yeah.
God. Was he not also
So, aka, she's full of shit
right?
and clearly doesn't read the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, she would know this.
Yeah. But it goes even before Jesus himself. So,
Yeah.
although telekinesis has been around for centuries, it didn't become a phenomena until the late 19th century.
Yeah.
So the term itself was coined by Russian physical researcher Alexander N. Aksakov. So, he was all jazzed up by the works of Emanuel Swedenborg. Yes, Borg.
Borg.
Swedenborg. So he's a Swedish scientist who allegedly had psychic abilities. He was interested in the physical manifestations of mediumship, so people who communicate with spirits.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the late 1860s, Askakov became famous as one of the organizers of the first seances in Russia, and eventually became known for his study in the British medium Desperance.
Yeah.
So Desperance traveled throughout Europe, conducting seances, claiming she had lots of telekinetic powers, including automatic writing, so producing writing from a spiritual source without consciousness. So you'll like have a pen and you'll just let the spirit take over, and whatever you write is like.
And that's a very common, not common, but like it is often used in some of the more paranormal films that we've watched. So yeah.
Also, she claimed she had ectoplasm. So that's producing a gauze-like substance from orifices in your body that spirits could drape over their non-physical bodies in order to interact with the physical plane.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And then also just telekinesis, where she could move things with her mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Table turning. However, unfortunately for Askakov, there was evidence against Desperance's claims, where in 1880 she was exposed by a sitter, a babysitter, at one of her seances, portraying a spirit named Yolande. So she was outed.
Yeah.
There was also another Italian medium called Eusapia Palladino, who Askakov also did studies on.
Yeah.
And claimed to be able to levitate and telekinetically move objects.
Gotcha.
However, she was also exposed as a fraud by investigators, including the British Society for Physical Research in England and the Harvard psychologist Hugo Munstenberg in America.
Yeah.
When she was found to be kicking objects across the room and levitating tables with her foot.
Yeah.
So there's lots and lots and lots and lots of articles about telekinesis, characters who have telekinesis.
Oh yeah.
Histories that share legends about these things, and I found a lot of this in an article literally called "The Carrie Phenomena: A Brief History of Telekinesis." So if you're interested in learning more about it, I definitely recommend giving this a quick read.
Yeah.
I already gave you a lot of information that it has, but it kept going. There was a lot on it. Just where it comes from, who's claimed to have it, just things like that. But really where King is coming from is the telekinesis craze in the 70s, where also like Poltergeist probably got its ideas from. We're having that a girl leaving adolescence, becoming a woman through her first period, like where the emotions are heightened and you're more connected to.
Because moving objects and things like that is probably like the most common objects and people. Moving objects and people and things like that are definitely some of the most common stuff we see in any spirituals or paranormal based film.
You can go watch so many YouTube videos of like people doing paranormal investigations,
Yes.
and like they'll place cameras in different rooms and like
Yeah.
walk away and just do other investigations, and you'll see them have footage of doors closing and balls moving
Yeah.
and just lots of things. But, you know, that's obviously the internet. You don't know if it's real or not. That's
Yeah.
why, personally, I'm a healthy How do you say that? Hold on.
Skeptic?
I'm a skeptic, but on a healthy level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm only skeptical because I haven't
You
seen it
want-
for myself.
You want to believe with proof
Yes. I believe.
of your own.
Yeah, I believe it. I just really want to see it for myself in order to fully go over that line.
Yeah. I gotcha.
But yeah. There are so many other videos too where people like move flames or like the smoke in flames with their minds, or like
Oh, yeah.
just it's very Force like Star Wars.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah. Lots of things.
Is that all your notes?
Mm-hmm.
So you got some 1 stars for me?
I do. However, when looking at the 1 stars, this did have a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, so there were only 5 1 stars.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's a lot harder.
So I picked their 2. Let's see. Ahem. I came across a video on TikTok for a game show where they were saying popular horror movies, and Carrie was among I've never watched. I've never watched. The original version, so I literally just watched it. Really don't know why this movie is so critically acclaimed. Someone even said it's the scariest movie they've ever watched. How? The movie was more like comedy than horror. The way the actors acted, the terribly long clapping scene before the blood was poured on Carrie, the actors' facial and bodily reactions. It really beats me how Carrie could be someone's favorite movie. All the people that made this movie so popular, I don't know what to say to you. Just spoiling the hard work of legend Stephen King. Thank you very much for wasting my time. Although, on the bright side, was giggling throughout.
I swear. I mean,
At least you didn't say shit about Stephen King.
Yeah.
You called him a legend, so you're
But-
forgiven somewhat.
it's also, this is not, for as much as there are the paranormal stuff going on, it's not a paranormal film.
Yeah.
It's a,
Because it's not about ghosts and spirits. It's about
it's about like a family and a girl who's going through some shit and like
who happens to have powers.
who happens to have powers. It's not a girl with powers who's going through some shit. It's a girl who's going through some shit who also happens to have powers.
Yeah. Yes.
Because she doesn't know how to use them. She doesn't use them very much at all until the very end.
It's not even really talked about until she's speaking to her mom.
Like it all is in that end grouping. Like, yeah, you have the glass breaking and things like that, but
For
those
me,
are also minor.
The message that this sends to me, like for the audience, is just don't underestimate people, and obviously don't be a bully. You never know what,
Yes.
one, someone is going through, or two, the power that they actually have to fight for themselves.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I think the message of this movie is.
Because it reflects religious trauma
Yeah.
and parental trauma.
Yeah.
Isolation in a unchosen situation.
And like finding your power through situations like that.
Yeah.
Even if society and your family is beating you down so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's got a really good message, and it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
There was another one. Let's see. Very depressing. This movie received awards. Garbage! Exclamation point.
Is that it?
No. Love some of the actors, but not in this.
Okay.
They should be embarrassed! Exclamation point. Why so many people like this weird movie. The ending is evil. I cannot believe they had her kill the people that were kind to her. Noticed many mistakes. Carrie's hair becomes curled more right when she wins queen. It's true. I did see that too. I would not watch this again if you paid me. What really makes this a B movie is everything about it. So many better things to watch. Love Sissy Spacek in other movies. Can't believe she made this. I guess when you're young, you'll do anything for success.
So the problem with that sentiment,
That's so fucked, by the way.
the Susie character survives.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot of the other characters all die.
But it's not.
She is lost control because
She's
of her
never-
psychological state.
Yeah, she's never had control of her powers before. She obviously is just doing research on it for the first time ever when
Yeah.
Tommy asks her to prom. Like, she clearly.
And
Do you think she got her powers when she got her period?
oh yeah, guaranteed.
That's when it was, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So like, she got
one
her-
caused the other.
Yeah, one caused the other. So she's only had these powers for what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Be for real.
Because it's also, you have to think about it. Everyone that died in there, the only reason why they died is because in the process, she's already has trust issues. And you know she already has trust issues.
Yep.
And the only person she did trust was the teacher. And even in the end, she still thought that the teacher
She was in on it.
was in on
probably.
it.
Yeah.
So the point is that she's so broken and has such severe issues that she could believe anything. And in that moment, she believed everybody hated her and that this was all with intent against her.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she snapped. And because she had the powers took over.
Yep.
It's kind of like, it's almost as if the powers are her, it's like she has DID, but her powers is her alternative personality.
Right.
The powers came forward when she could no longer handle the situation. And which is why she was the way she was throughout the last part of the film. Because she seemed weirdly confident in the last portion of the film, including going into her home, changing, washing, getting all that kind of stuff set into place. The powers took over versus her in control.
I agree.
So that's the truth of why I believe everybody died. And I mean,
Yeah.
Susie, unfortunately, is just going to have trauma because she watched people die and couldn't do anything. And, you know, no matter how much we all wish that she would, like, go run and call somebody, unfortunately, during that time period, cell phones were not readily available.
Right.
So there's no amount of, like, why didn't she go get help? I'm like, well, because she would have
couldn't.
to drive somewhere. She would have to leave for an extended period of time to go find somewhere, to go grab people, to then come back. It's not like, you know, we have now where we can just be like, phone, you know?
Yeah. Which is the one good part of cell phones, I would say.
Yeah.
Other than the brain rot we all have now.
Yeah. But, yeah. People and their opinions. They're wrong.
That's why we put them in here, so we can combat them and give you the truth.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Give
yeah.
you the rundown.
Oh, yeah.
Unless we absolutely agree with you.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Would you rather?
Would you rather? Yeah.
But yeah, this movie was very good.
Yeah.
Lots of people love it.
It's a classic. It's honestly...
And I'm lost for words now.
The inspiration for Psycho, I can see a lot of people thinking Psycho in a similar mentality. So, I get it. I get that there's some films that are... Like, because even when we get to it in October, we're planning on doing the Halloween franchise because
Correct.
Halloween.
I love.
But even the very first Halloween film is slow. Like, slow.
I believe, yeah.
It's the second one is a little faster, but still has that slower pace. The modern remakes that they made, the 3 afterwards, have a very different feel to them, but you need those first 2 to get those last 3. So there's definitely some older movies you just kind of have to let them take their pace.
Right.
So that you understand. Because it's like it's a respect for cinema, you know? If we didn't have that, we wouldn't have this. So,
Yeah, everything's inspired by something else.
Yeah.
And if you don't think that,
You're wrong.
You're wrong. No, I did it all myself. No inspiration from nowhere. Then you have literally
I
not
have an
lived.
original idea. Now that would love to see.
No, but again, even if it is an original idea, it's got to be set somewhere,
Yeah, yeah.
which is probably a place that exists. So that's an inspiration.
Yeah.
Or it's a brand new place you created that is inspired by something else. Like,
There's only rare times that we get pure inspiration from fucking nothingness. And a lot of times that's monsters, and it makes me think about the Smile Monster. Because we had not a lot of reference for that.
but even that was
His own
inspired by
reference
something.
was his own reference.
Yep. Yeah.
He was his own inspiration,
Yeah. Yeah.
which means he made an original monster.
But he was inspired by what was it? That facial expression,
Yes.
like that you see on people, whether they mean it or not.
Yes.
Like that.
But that's the smile. I'm
Yeah,
talking about
the
like the
smile.
monster.
Yeah, I just mean like
Yes.
I'm talking about just the monster. I just mean
The smile and its deceptive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
like that was inspired by that. Like everything is an inspiration.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, I think that's it for us. Next week is The Boy. I have not seen it.
it's
I
pretty good.
will see it
It's pretty good.
because I have to see it. And I guess there's a second one, so I got to see that one too.
I have not seen the second one. Although I did watch The Boy in middle school, so I have no idea if it's going to be as good as I remember.
You can send us an email.
I really like the ending. That's all I'll say. I was about to say something, and then I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. No worries. Send us an email at horrorunmasked@gmail.com. You can follow us at Instagram and Twitter, X, at Horror Unmasked. You can also listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Audible, Pandora, and YouTube at Horror Unmasked Podcast. And I think with that,
There's only one thing left to ask. Will you fear?
or will you fear not?